I got the funding of 1 million rand, I was attending an expo and I met.
Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Gwanda Nyazeka. If it's your first time here, we are talking about everything entrepreneurship, financial education, entrepreneurship, as well as running your own business. Please consider subscribing. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate the support that you're giving me, guys. So the next question that I'm going to ask you, I see that you are a very busy person. You know, I would see you, especially last year, I would see you driving between in and out of the province. You also have the businesses, the 3 franchise businesses that you're managing. So how do you balance your time? How do you divide your time between all these things? And also being a mother of 2, how do you balance your time and being able to just do all these things?
You know, as we just said, to say commitment is one thing. So,
Yes.
you know, we need to be committed and do things consistently.
Yes.
That's now how we can understand and be able to find it easier.
Yes.
You know, because once you are using, remember when they said you started a gym.
Yes.
If you don't go consistently, you'll never understand the pain and eventually be able to work out.
Yes.
You know, so for me, it has always been about consistency, and I'm thankful for the mentorship and advices that I normally get from other business people who are successful.
Yes.
You know, to say you need to balance your life, and you need to understand that have a commitment schedule.
Yes.
So I've already now, it's still a working process, but that's what I do. If I start any other business, I find time to commit.
Yes.
I've started with 3 brands, my franchises,
Yes.
and from there, when I was now venturing into other businesses, I understood that I will need to add extra hours.
Yes.
So now I went back to my schedule and said, where can I get extra hours? So I put on TV. I see news on social media. I get up to date on social media.
Yes.
So I kind of now getting to understand to say, where can you now source other resources to help you? You know, I also get help because remember in business, that's why I do mentorship to also support other entrepreneurs. We need support as entrepreneurs. Any business, we need support. So at home, I've got a very wonderful helper. We've been together for about 11 years now. And I also commit every Sunday, it's my family time. You know, as much as I can do some deliveries, but I'll do it with my kids.
Yes.
You know, I give my helper off for that day so that she can also rest because I work long hours.
Yes.
So for me, I just understood that, you know, when you're running a business, my late mentor, Mr. Rajan Reddy, told me that your business must be in your heart must be in the business. So for me, I take work even at home, but when I get home, I will also schedule to say, first thing I need to do is to check my daughter with her schoolwork.
Yes.
But I know after that, I also need to work up until that. Unfortunately, that's the sacrifice that you also need to do. And because I'm passionate about what I do, I don't feel as tired or as draining. I still wake up. Even if I slept at 1 o'clock, I still wake up at 5, at 6 and prepare to say, okay, now I need to post about my business because you know business wants that dedication. It doesn't care how you feel. Even if you are tired, be in bed but work on your business. Yes, we need to rest, you know, but now don't make the resting now 5 days and you forget that you're running a business. My social life, I've cut my social life a bit. You know, I don't go to much events as I used to be when I was still in corporate.
Yes.
Because I understand I don't have luxury of weekdays. You know, I take rest now and then as well. You know, but once I know that it's my working period, I work.
You work.
I work.
Okay. That's great. That's great. When you just mentioned your one thing about your mentor, when I was reading your book, I remember he said something that I liked. He said that while he was starting his entrepreneurship journey, he touched any and everything that he could. And I could relate to that thing. You know, as entrepreneurs, you will have these lot of ideas and you literally want to touch everything that you can. You know? And it made me relate to the story. I was like, actually, I'm not a weird person if this man is saying this, but I wanted to touch any and everything. So it's a normal thing if you're an entrepreneur to want to touch any and everything.
Because
Okay.
your mind, I think, gets active. You want to explore.
Yes,
You,
yes,
you
that's
see
true.
other opportunities.
You want
know.
to go there.
Yeah.
True. Okay. So is mentorship really important for entrepreneurs? Would you encourage someone to have a mentor if they are an entrepreneur or aspiring to be entrepreneur? Debonairs?
Yeah, I think it's one of the critical elements. That support,
Yes.
it really goes a long way. Same applies in life. At home, you've got your mother if you're still a young child. At work, you'll have your supervisor they are your mentor.
Yes.
So even in business, you can, succeed, but now it might take you longer.
Yeah, that's true.
You might be discouraged along the way and drop out. But now when you've got a mentor who will always remind you, to say,
Yes.
carry on, you will succeed. Somebody will give you advice. Somebody will even give you his networks. It really helps you to avoid to do the mistakes that other people did, because a mentor will be there, somebody that have now time in your business, understand your business. You don't have to be friends, but they will even intentionally make time for you. When they see opportunities, they share with you because they will remember. It's very, very important that you get a mentor.
That's great. That's great. I hope, guys, you are learning from everything that she's saying. I've learned so much,
So
And let's move now to how you acquired the 1 million bank loan. You've already touched at the beginning of the interview, but I just want you to tell us about how did it happen? How did you acquire the franchises that you have now? Which is one of them is the one that you are in actually. How did it happen?
So for me, I was attending some business seminar. I was still in corporate, and we had been invited, to that business seminar. And then I met the CEO of NEF. She was addressing the Mamutelezi.
Yes.
The seminar was for women. I think it was around August. And then they mentioned that NEF is there to find young women, black in business. So I thought, okay, young, chic,
Yes,
black,
chic.
business, I love it.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, let me find a business.
in.
Now I started researching different businesses, and you kind of scared to start your own business.
That's true.
Because I'm like, I don't know the skills, I don't know where to start. And then I came across franchising. I think it was through their brochure talking about franchising. I'm like, okay, franchising for me, I saw it as a business that can give you mentorship, that can give you support. So I'm like, okay, let me use this franchise to start a business, and then later on, as I'm learning, I will now understand what I want to do for me. So I'm like, let me take advantage of this, especially now there's funding. So that's when I started now attending franchising expos. They used to host franchising expos a lot back before COVID. Different banks, So I was I attended one of those, and I saw the stand from NEF. When I went there, that's when I met the gentleman, Christopher Tan. Then he took me through the process, and then we came in contact, and then I applied.
Okay, that's great. And then now you acquire the franchise. And another thing that I just want to ask, when people talking about franchise, we have this, what comes into my mind is the restaurants, your KFCs, your Debonairs and everything. And you mentioned something interesting when we had the Stokvel in Dizo, that Stokvel is not only about these the restaurants. You mentioned other brands like your knives, and can you enlighten us there?
So to be honest, a franchising is not specific married to a certain brand. A franchise is a business model. So now here you are, Wanda, you are doing your brands, your kilo, So now you want to expand. You can use franchising as an expansion, because sometimes you are not able to deliver in Western Cape, for example. People there will find that you are too far, paying for courier fees doesn't make economical sense for them. So now you can say, okay, who is an entrepreneur who can now join my venture, use my brand, use my product as it is, then in return they pay me for my service, because it's like you're giving them that support. So franchising is an expansion of any business. We've got franchises in education, financial institutions. It's not only in food, like your KFCs, it's any other business you can franchise it. Even, ECDs, you can own a crash and have a successful crash and later on say, man, I want to open in Limpopo. You don't have to be there in Limpopo yourself if let's say you're in the Eastern Cape. But you can partner with another another entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur. Now, your role as a franchisor, their support, you must give them the support in terms of brand, how they can make revenue out of your brand, and you're giving them mentorship, because that's how I've been seeing the support that I get from my brands. It's mentorship.
Okay, that's great. That's interesting. I've also heard that when you're thinking of getting business funding, you shouldn't think about the bank or the loan, let me put it that way, because they argue that banks are unlikely to fund a business idea, because they would think that what if it fails, the idea. So why yourself did you approach the NEF?
Yeah.
Yes, which is a financial institution.
Okay.
Yes.
With the banks, they fund any, whether government or private institution,
Yes.
they fund businesses. You are right, not ideas.
Yes.
But your idea must show that it can be a business as soon as you get the funding.
Yes.
Hence, I say to you, I always preach research, because of that element that you need to be able to research and understand when your business can start.
Yes.
Understand what is needed. So number one, financials is the most critical part, because when you go and say to a funder, here is my business idea, let's say you have not started that business.
Yes.
They do fund business that have not started. But you need to show them, your predictions. Your predictions must be real. Not just an idea, they must be real.
Yes.
Hence, even the research on the finances part of them, they must be real. So now, to be honest, it's all about how you package your business, that you need to make people aware that once I get this funding, this is how I can use it, this is the revenue that it can generate. This is the research backup to say a similar business in similar location, these are the real turnovers.
Yes.
Hence the research is very critical, because it can assist you now to be able, to gain that confidence with the investors. As much as yes, it is difficult when the business is not even existing. Hence we are saying start where you are, so that when you go and approach funders, you can show them to say, I have started, it's growing. Even if it's growing by 100 rand, by 500, there's growth.
Yes.
So you've got a case study. That's why we always encourage to say, don't wait up until you get funding. Start with the little one. If you are in catering, start selling 10 plates a day. Sell on the streets, cook from the home, pack them, go to the street. Then you've got a business case. Then when you go to the funders and say, okay, I need 1 million rand, you've got a business case already to say, guys, I've been doing this is the growth, and once I get the money, you need to show them this money, it will be spent, I'll buy a mobile kitchen, I'll buy stock, I do this and that. Then the revenue predictions, this could be the revenue predictions.
Okay. Yes. That's great. I like that. You actually reminding me of something you said in your book. You said that you actually used the fact that you were selling curtains from the boot of your car as the motivation for the loan.
I'm showing you guys I can sell.
That's
so
great.
remember, when people borrow you money, even yourself, if your uncle say, the banks like to make this example, so okay, if your uncle come and say, can you borrow me 1,000, I'll give you next week, are you gonna just give the uncle? Because you know that the uncle drinks. How will the uncle get to pay me back? You're gonna ask those questions.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
if you see that uncle is that uncle that normally fixes shoes for people, they pay him.
Yes,
You'll be confident to say, no,
that's
my
true.
uncle is a hustler.
That's true. He's going to make this money.
He's gonna pay me back.
Okay. Okay. That's great. That's great. And then still on the subject of the bank loan, what can you say to someone who says that, people, they always like saying that I don't like debt. What if my business fails? I won't afford to repay the loan. And then they sometimes say that only white people get business loans. What can you say to that person?
For me, I will say, no, we always say we don't like debt. But for what I've noticed, we don't like only debts for business.
Yes.
But we are having debts. Some of us, we are staying in bonded house.
It's
a
debt.
20-year debt.
Yes.
Some of us, we are driving cars that are still financed.
Debt still.
We've got Edgar's loans and other clothing stores. We've got so many debts. But after that, even there's a stat to say South Africans, we are in real debt. You understand? So it's not as if we don't want debts. We've not been educated enough about good debts. So I'm just saying to people to say, let's not be afraid of debt. As much as we know that some debts really help us.
Yeah, that's true.
For example, housing debts. If we didn't have bonding houses, some of us won't be able to own houses.
That's true.
But now we've seen the comfort that comes with that, and we are managing to pay because, you know, even at work, you want to get promotion because you know that you've got a bond to pay.
That's
So even
true.
with business, once you've got a debt involved, you will work harder in your business. And the beauty about the debt of the business, it gives you now advantage to succeed better because you'll have resources enough for your business.
Yes.
You have enough stock if you are in catering, a mobile kitchen, or you know, you've got a better chance of you succeeding, and you'll work harder. You know. So that's what I'm saying. If the best part about the financial institutions, they will not even give you a debt that they feel that your business won't afford to pay. Because remember, they'll also do research. So now once they approved you, it says your business can survive. So the only thing now you need to do is to work hard, as you had already showed people, to say, I'm going to sell 20 plates a day, I'm going to do this. So the only thing now, you need to do it.
To do that.
You know, like when you get your license, you are not really into driving, but once you pass that license, now you are driving. I've never seen somebody with a license and say, now I'm scared to drive. Yes, there are few, but they still eventually they drive.
Yes, they
you
drive.
know.
That's true. That's true. And then I'm sure now we are towards the end of this
Okay.
interview. So in chapter 14 of your book, you talk about the importance of entrepreneurs knowing their credit score. You've also mentioned in this interview that when you applied for the bank loan, you didn't know your credit score, and you only found through that application that you actually was listed on credit bureau. Why is it important for entrepreneurs to know their credit score? I know a number of entrepreneurs, maybe they don't even care about their credit scores.
You know, as an entrepreneur, don't forget you are the CEO of a company.
Yes.
So whether your company is 1 day old, 5 days, 10 years, you are at the same position as a CEO. So now with the CEO positions, even in corporate or in government, they are not going to get positions if their credit score is bad. Because as a CEO, you deal with finances.
Yes.
So it's very important that one, for your own business, to say, you need to be a responsible CEO.
Yes.
So if you can't take care of your personal finances, already you are be seen as if you can't take care of your
business finances.
or your corporate. Because remember, CEO, you need to divide budgets, make financial decisions, you know. So it's very important just for your business, but also for your well-being, because now other opportunities, they will also check your credit score. So it's very, very important that you understand that how you need to trade for your credit score to be healthy. And even if it's bad, guys, it's not all bad. There are now institutions like those financial institutions I work with closely, they're based in Durban, where they also now assist us to rectify. They will check your credit scoring and also advise you to say, you need to fix, for example, don't use a credit card, don't buy in this way. Now they give you a guidance to say, how can you better your credit ratings?
Okay, that's great. And then the last question that I'm going to ask you. Okay, before the last one.
There are so many questions.
What can you say?
Before the last one.
What can you say to a young person or an unemployed person who says that I can't start a business because I don't have capital?
I will say, you know what, sometimes you don't need a capital, you just need a drive. If you are a young person and you've got the opportunity to be on social media, reach out to other businesses. Find a skill that interests you, even if you don't know the skill, but what can interest your passion. And reach out and say, can I be your salesman? You know, so you will earn on commission. So earning on commission will help you now to start raising funds for your capital. You know, ask your parents. You know, there's the same way that when you go to an interview and you don't have money, you ask your relatives, your neighbors to help. You know, sometimes reach out to say, if you are really want to start into business, reach out to your family and friends. You know, even Stockfell at home, crowdfunding in English. You know there's crowdfunding, but it's actually a Stockfell where even your family can come together and say, the same way where you want Christmas clothes or a birthday gift. You know, sometimes just say, you know what, guys, for this year, don't buy me a clothing for my birthday. Don't buy me that jean for 1.5. Give me 1.5. I want to start a business. There are businesses that you can start as little as 500 rand. Some you can even start it at free. I started my first oil business during last year when it was lockdown.
The lockdown.
Like literally, guys, I'll write a book one day. I started with 4 bottles. I bought it for myself. Then I posted on social media. My friends said, "No, we want this. We've been looking for it."
Yes.
I was not even aware that
They
it was
are
in
looking
high
for it,
demand.
yes.
Then I said, "Okay, I know the supplier, so let me go back to the supplier." I ordered, I think it was 20 bottles.
Okay.
The following day, I got people pre-ordering,
Yeah.
paying in advance. I ended up going for 50 bottles. Within 6 months, I had sold 50,000 bottles. I didn't have money to fund that business.
Yes.
You know, I got people paying me in advance, and then
And
I
then
made
you
my
make
profit.
orders.
I made orders.
Wow.
I know other entrepreneurs who started from just a tin cake of baking muffins. I've showed in my books. Different
Yes,
entrepreneurs.
yes.
The other lady who now owns beauty spa massages, I think she has about 4 branches in South Africa. She started, she was highly pregnant. She had the skill, she had the hands and the experience. She just started by making flyers and putting under doors of people where she was staying in a flat in Sunnyside. Clients came to her flat to do massages. That's how she started her business. She owns about 4 branches across South Africa.
That's great. That's great. So you just need to start wherever
need to
you are
start.
with what you have. Something great will come out of
Something
that.
good will come out.
Okay. Okay. So the last question that I'm going to ask you. Can you describe yourself or describe your life now using one song, and just maybe give us a short chorus?
I don't even know how to sing. Oh, I love Grateful by Zonke.
Okay.
Yes, I always play it. I can't sing it. You find it and just play it for the viewers, please. Yes, Grateful. So I think for me, you know, life has been challenging, but out of everything, I'm still
Grateful.
grateful.
That's great. Thank you so
Please
much.
find the song. I want to hear it.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving us this
Kwanda.
opportunity and joining our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated, and allowing us to come into your space, your business. So can you tell us about your business, where you at, what are you doing, and everything that you're doing, so that if I have someone who's interested in what you're doing, they can come and support you.
Okay. So here we are at my franchise restaurant. It's in Midrand. So it's a combo for Debonairs pizza, Fishaways, and Steers Burger. So if you are around the wood, please come and support us. And I also do mentorship. So I help small businesses to start, aspiring entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs who want to expand their businesses. So you can find me on all social media platforms, Bathabile Moreki, you know, or send us an email on bathabile@TETFE.co.za.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching up until this far. It's really appreciated. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.